right, here we are in a beautiful Beverly Hills, California morning, looking at a very nice 1932 Ford three-window coupe. Beautiful all Henry steel car. We're going to walk around and tell you about it like we usually do, and I hope I don't get run over in the process. Nicely done. A lot of really cool surprises on this car. As I mentioned, it's all Henry steel. It's not been chopped, not been filled. This particular car has history dating back well into the 60s in Southern California. There's a full file that comes with the car that documents a lot of the stuff. There's actually a California pink slip dated 1977 that's also included. It has an original 18 VIN car. 2013, well, it was completed about 2012, 2013. It's about a 7 or 8 year old restoration, modernization, so to speak. 2013 Grand National Roadster Show Best 32. That's a very coveted award. Finished very much in a resto rod style, but a lot of neat upgrades on it. We're going to walk around and tell you about it like we usually do. But we're going to cover quite a few things. This paint is absolutely beautiful. You can pick it here and there because it's had a little bit of settling, and we like to cover everything, but in no way does it really detract from the car at all. I would call it a 3-footer at best. There's a couple areas where there was a little bit of settling and that type of thing because it's been built a few years. It's a base coat, clear coat. For instance, you could pick it for a little tiny spot right here and a little small lift there, which is very typical. But as we go around, I'll point out the things that I think I see, but I think I'm being overcritical, typical Spud man when it covers it. But we like to let you know what we see as we're walking around. Beautiful suspension, undercarriage, mirror quality undercarriage, a lot of chrome. Has, like I talked about, some special surprises up underneath here. It has Coupe, full Coupe, fully independent suspension front and rear. Just to kind of give you a peek, hang on to the end of the video, we'll cover a lot more. Has power rack and pinion steering, which you'd never expect to see in a 32. Real 32 means it is real iron underneath here. It has a 350 Chevy V8 with aluminum cylinder heads on it. A lot of nice dress on the front, super serpentine belt drive, 700 R4 automatic overdrive. Has McLean wheels on it. Oh, this is all freshly updated stuff. The car has about 500 miles on it since it was built, 555 or so. The owner that bought it went on to, he's owned it for a while here, and he likes to make sure that his cars can drive. So he spent basically a restoration of certain components and areas of the car. They completely went through and made sure everything was right, dialed in suspension, went through the interior. We'll talk about that in just a minute here, kind of bringing it back to a more traditional format. When it was a show car, it had a two-tone leather interior and that kind of thing, and he went to a more traditional interior. It has Coupe independent rear suspension, so full polished Coupe suspension, 4-wheel disc brakes. Just a beautiful 3-window coupe. All non-molested, as you would say. It has a cowl vent here. It has air conditioning. Again, we mentioned power steering, that type of thing. I know I'm in the middle of the road here, so I might, like I said, be interrupted or distracted from time to time. Recently a new roof insert was installed in it, professionally installed. Had a professional go over almost every square inch of the car. We cover a lot on the engine compartment undercarriage when we go around. The dash is nicely updated. It has a 40 Ford steering column. Those are one of the updates he did to bring it back. It has a early Ford pinstripe style broadcloth, wool broadcloth interior in it now. Very nicely done. And we'll have specs of the who did the interior and that kind of thing in the restoration. But again, 2013 Grand National Roadster Show Best 32. Beautiful. A lot of neat little things in it. These aftermarket or handmade, I don't know, the chrome plated door sill plates here are very nice. Crank down rear window, all the headliner, all the interior is fresh and new. Again, the owner purchased it with about 400 miles on it, enjoyed it, no overheat issues. Like I said, he's got it dialed in and spent probably 50-60 grand getting it there. Sometimes when they're show cars, they don't operate as well as they should, and this guy likes to drive his cars, so he's went through and dialed it in very nicely. Again, the same level of detail here in the door jamb. You could call it for a couple little shrinkage. You can't even see it. You'll never even see it with my video, and I have to look at the angle just right. There's a little bit of couple small shrinkage spots on the hood if you looked at it. Now I'm being super picky like I'm known to be. Beautiful car. A lot of people here walking by. Definitely a car that still very show worthy. Enjoy, drive, and show. Give you an idea, the body is just whistle straight. The body, as far as we know, according to the records we have, there's no patch panels in this body at all. The rumble seat's still a functioning rumble seat in the back. It has an interior release. Beverly Hills is nice. There's always something happening. There's always performance in town, no doubt about that. You heard that. The real 32 license plate, if the car's, as far as we know, it's been in California since the 60s, and possibly before that. Again, we'll have all those records at Spud's Garage. This is a very expensive Ralph Williams Encino license plate frame that's included with it. If the car stays in California, the real 32 plate will go with it. He will sign it over. As always, we'll have different sections of our video that we cover things, the undercarriage, that type of thing. So just a beautiful black finish. Again, you could pick it here and there if you wanted to, but in the video you won't see any of it, and up in person it's just very impressive. Working Cal lamps that work as turn signals. It has underdash blinky turn signals on it. Again, door jamb to door jamb, very nice car. This chrome trim here. It's really hard to find 3-window coupes that are not chopped or molested, and this is one of those cars with good documented California history. Several owners that owned it for many years. German square weave carpet. Has an upgraded underdash control panel here that allows the AC vents, the vintage air conditioning. Again, it has power steering. I believe this is a Classic Instruments cluster that they've installed. We'll fire it up and kind of give you an idea. This is just a block off plate. You can put any kind of radio you wanted in here, that type of thing, or you just do your set up a Bluetooth from your phone if you like. But that's just a fake audio. Kind of gets you up underneath the dash here. It has suicide door latches, catches here, both sides, nice little courtesy lights. Again, German square weave carpet. Starts right up. Take you up here into the dash. All electronic dash. 555 miles since it was built. Temp gauge. Never overheats, the owner says. Barely even warms up. Drives it in Hollywood traffic. Drives it to and from his house in Encino to here in Beverly Hills. Oil pressure 50 pounds, fuel gauge working. Nice cigar lighter here. Windshield still cranks out like it's supposed to. Manual operate wiper. We're thinking you get the idea. We'll let you hear it run here. Beautiful. Pretty hard to find a Deuce with fully independent suspension, power rack and pinion steering. Just a beautiful car. A show winner that's been brought to the road. Anyway, want to invite you in now. We also want to have you watch the end of the video. Have a great day. Alright, we'll get you underneath the hood here. Very nice. This is definitely the kind of car you can pull into the show, raise the hood, and people are just going to come up and look. Beautiful underneath the hood here. 350 Chevy crate engine with aluminum cylinder heads on it. Very nicely dressed up. Has fin style valve covers on it. We'll get to the back here and cover some more for you. Has a recessed firewall on it. Probably a Bitchin products. They used a lot of high quality components here. It has a Mallory billet distributor in it. All low car cables and controls. Has a Edelbrock EPS intake manifold and carburetor. I believe those are both Endurashine. ram horn style exhaust manifolds. Nice little touches throughout, little V8 emblem right here on the engine mount brackets. The VIN is on the chassis, right down there. We'll have pictures of that at Spud's Garage. All the wiring's done very nice. Comes up through the bottom of the cowl here. Has an aluminum radiator on it. Has absolutely no overheat issues. This thing runs in traffic just fine. He's got a dialed in sweet electric cooling fan. Serpentine billet belt drive in it. High end. I think that's probably a Zoops, but I'll get back and see if I can get some specs from Spud's Garage or when I get back to the office. High amp alternator. Over here to this side here. Has vintage air conditioning, 134 style with all braided lines, that type of thing. Nicely done. Mini high torque starter. Again, the same motor mount extension here for V8. Just nice little touches. All polished or plated stuff underneath the hood here. 700 R4 automatic overdrive. It has transmission. It has a Coupe center section in the back, so it's four-wheel independent suspension. This one you can definitely drive and show. It has power steering, by the way, rack and pinion. This is a coolant recovery bottle. I don't think I covered that when I was over there. Walk over to the other side here. 32 with power steering. So I mentioned the rack and pinion steering. This is the power steering fluid reservoir right there. Okay, I thought we'd fire it up here for you. Starts right up. Notice I didn't even get in the car to hit the gas. Plenty of poop for this one. Lots of juice. All right, we'll give you a look at the rumble seat here. Finished in the wool broadcloth, just like the interior or the forward portion of the cabin here. Nicely done rumble seat area. This is all fresh in here. This panel right here, actually you notice there's limited foot room, but all you have to do is slide the seat forward and that panel comes out of there. It just adds a little bit of a barrier between the two when you're not using the rumble seat. All right, we thought we'd go over some of the items that are included with it. Little photo binder here. When it won the Best 32 at the Grand National Roadster Show, it was called Black Beauty. There's a lot of photos of the restoration here. You'll see how beautiful the body is here. There's some pictures as we get towards the back. The chassis was done, went over the chassis. We'll take some of these photos and put them at Spud's Garage for you to peek at. Coupe suspension on this car is like 13 G's. The exhaust system, we'll cover that in just a minute. Some of the original build of the car, body wise, floor pans. Restored here in Southern California. Had different wheels on it during the for the show portion of it, so they went through and toned down some of the showy features. If you look at it here, there were some other photos in the back here of it actually in its earlier stages in a garage before the restoration. There's an original grill shell that is included with it. The grill shell on it's not an original 32, but there is original 32 if you like it. Black Beauty is, again, there you go. Here's a picture of the Coupe suspension on the underside. All right, we're going to get to the undercarriage here. This will really light your fuse. Definitely show-worthy mirror quality on the bottom side of this jewel. And the owner's got it dialed in so it drives nicely. Got all the suspension set up right. It has Coupe suspension front and rear, all polished and plated stainless components, quad shocks in the back. These Coupe component suspensions are extremely nice. The inboard brakes, so it has four-wheel disc brakes. It'll stop, it'll go. Billet control arms there. Factory style fuel tank in the back here. It has custom exhaust that's all been chrome plated on it. I could spend a lot of time on the undercarriage here. Beautiful. It's nice to see a little bit of IFS cars, four-wheel independent suspension car, IRS, IFS, four-wheel independent suspension. Has all new rubber on it. The sidewalls have been buffed. Has these true spoke wheels, vintage style. The floor pans are just as shiny as the top and the outside of the car. Bottom of the fuel filter there, you'll see the exhaust. I'm gonna go a little bit slow with this portion of the video because it's very nice. Very nice car. A lot of money into this chassis on this beauty. We'll get around the other side, the lighting a little bit better. The mufflers are actually chrome plated. 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission, polished pan. Has power rack and pinion steering, Coupe front suspension with power steering. Chrome oil pan, again chrome exhaust. Up front here, also buff sidewall tires, so there's no markings on them. These are all fresh components on the car when it comes to the wheels and tires. Beautiful day here in Beverly Hills. See the front suspension, all the Coupe fully adjustable coilovers. Like I said, everything's dialed in. This car's driving nice and quiet, not a road bumpy car. To give you a good feel there. Chrome bumper irons on it. Over. Beautiful. You don't see many deuces with power steering. See the oil pan and the chrome exhaust. All obviously rotisserie body off, floor pan shiny kind of car. There you go. I think you get the idea. It's always good to see nice high-end quality work on the bottom side. Beautiful. Hang on to the end of the video. We'll definitely have more. Have a great day. All right, he's taking it back to his garage. Listen to it run here. It is a real 32. Could be going to your garage. Make sure you go to Spud's garage. Have a great day. We'll go ahead and watch him turn around here. Thanks for hanging on to the end of the video. Beautiful day here in Beverly Hills. Have a great day.